Alright, so in the last video you saw us drop off a Trans Am, and now we have an empty trailer.
Yeah.
So you know what that means.
Empty trailer means we can't be all the way like 2 hours from home and go back with a empty trailer. Well, maybe we will. But we worked out this a while ago with Austin and his dad to deliver the car to them because they didn't have the means to do that. So we drug it out, delivered it to them like you saw, and you know, everything's great. Just how the universe works, like the night before, my friend Joe stopped by and he heard or had a lead on a old chopped and channeled hot rod. And he was like telling me where it was at, and he actually had gone to see it, and there was some photos of it on his digital camera, and he said, man, that thing's rough, it's too rough for me, it's junk. Well, he's an older guy that's a little spoiled and used to the really nice stuff.
Cherry.
So, yeah, so he passed on it, and he said, here's the guy's number, here's what he's asking, and it just so happens it was only an hour from where Austin and his dad lives, so you know what that means. We're heading with an empty trailer to go look at a car. So we're gonna go check it out, see what it is. Hopefully the price is a little on the high side for what I'd like to pay for it, but we're gonna check it out, see if I fall in love with it, and see if there's a little bit of money to be made in it, or maybe it's something I fall in love with and keep forever. We don't know, but we'd love to fill the trailer just for something fun to do. So go down the road a little bit to Hanover, PA, and check out this old coupe. Literally on the side of a busy road.
And the Model A, that's sweet.
Model A coupe for sale. See if we can buy something. So we found a really sick 34.3 window, chopped and channeled from back in the day. This thing is amazing. I didn't really get to wiggle much on the price because he knew what he had and it was worth what it was worth, but it is so killer, I had to have it. And yeah, look at this thing, it's so awesome.
44 dash?
44 dash, it's got the 44 wheel. Probably, I don't know what the, it's got an earlier steering box, but it's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. It's got a tubular cross member in the rear, and it's a slightly later frame. It might be like a 40 Ford frame or something, but it's just got the look. So super psyched. Gonna get some wheel swap to move this thing over. Grab a block for a grate. Very hard. Ready? I have to go forward. Ready? Hold on.
You want to go back forward again?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Flag jack, I don't care as long as nobody gets hurt.
So I go down there and you go.
How you lined up over there?
I'm good over here.
Alright, we'll hit here and it'll stop.
Alright.
Yeah. Ready? Alright, hold on. Don't go crazy. That's good, hold on. That's pretty straight.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad. I got the block here, so.
Ready?
Yep.
A little crooked.
have room if you want to.
Ready?
How's that?
I like it. Just gotta go back more. Where's the camera, man?
Oh crap. Sorry.
Ready?
There we go.
That's good right there.
Want to do that?
Love it.
I wanted to put it forward so that way it be. Like I said, I feel miserable. Got the look, buddy. Right? Get this part off the shower. Let's put something to stop. Just in case. Spot me, man. Go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the freaking ticket. What do you think, buddy? Oh, look at this one. Huh? We can ride in this one. Yeah, this one won't be that nice. Yeah. All right, got the car home. We got it just dumped in my driveway overnight. It was really late and Mike and I were exhausted from a bunch of different stuff we were doing, dropping off that car, digging out that Trans Am for Carl, and then dropping it off, then going to get this and negotiating and loading it. It just was a long afternoon and evening. So now that I got the car home, what I did, and you saw in the last couple shots, is that I basically ended up just throwing some spare wheels I had on it. Threw some Kelsey Hayes bent spokes with some 7/16 rear tires on it, and then I had the front tires off of the Schroll, which is over here, the 34 sedan I got from the Schroll estate, and I had the old thin white wall tires, so I threw them on some 15-inch Mercury wheels, which you can see right there I got on, and then I threw on these bent spoke Kelsey Hayes wheels with some 7/16 tires. I actually had done that a while ago, just kind of in case I needed some wheels and tires, so it worked out really well, and I ended up just grabbing my spare 34 grill. My buddy Jimmy May sold me this grill from a local old guy he knew a couple years ago for a great deal, and I've been hanging on the wall for the day I got a 34 Ford with no grill. So I just wired it on there just to kind of get the look of it. So the fun stuff you do when you first get these cars, roll in the garage and just start mocking things up. So got it sitting here, and I'm super psyched on the car. It's just got the look, the stance, everything, just even sitting there now, it's bitching. So what really struck me about this car when I went to look at it, and I'll kind of just, as I'm walking around, tell you guys the story. So my friend Joe stopped by my shop. He's a regular visitor. He's an antique car nut like me, an older guy, and I love visiting with Joe. He's become a very good friend. And Joe stops by and tells me about different deals he hears of, and he gets a little tiny newspaper that's locally, like a local weekly newspaper, and there was an ad in the newspaper for the car, and 34 Ford. He called me and he kind of did some legwork talking to the guy. He actually went to look at it to kind of tease me a little bit, and he took some photos and a series of events. I ended up going to look at it, and I bought the car. So what struck me about the car when I went to look at it, and I'll finish my story in a bit, is this thing's big shop, but it was done, I mean, this was done a long time ago, obviously, but this thing was hammer welded. It was you know, oxyacetylene welded, and it was hammer welded, and look how good, I mean, given this isn't as good as some of the crazy metal finish stuff you see on Instagram and the internet these days, but this is really good for the age of the car that was done. I mean, the weld, nothing's like super caved in. You know, of course there's a little weirdness here where they welded it up, but it's like, it's not bad. And I saw that and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Same thing you can see on this side, like they hammer welded it all and sanded it, and it's actually like they got the weld to like disappear here. Now there's a little tiny low spot, but it is really not bad. So I was impressed with the chop on this thing. They chopped, where was it? I think you can see it on the other side a little bit better. So right in here you can see they did a little weld, and it's not, you know, there's a little lip there. It's not perfect, but it's really not bad. And then of course right in here they did a little section where they put a piece in there, but it worked out pretty good, and the thing looks really good. So that struck me really cool. And then I started looking at the car, and I could tell this is an old hot rod. This wasn't something that somebody just like cut and mocked up. Nowadays you see guys, they'll try and sell stuff on eBay where they just like do a real rough, ugly chop and try to pass it off as an old hot rod. This is an old hot rod. I mean, the things that give it away, you know, the filled cowl vent that was done back in the day, has the battery tray there, you know, where it had a battery in it. You can see where there was dual master cylinders here. They were mounted to the firewall, which is really cool. And something I just got at a swap meet in Ohio was all this chrome stuff, and I got dual chrome early Ford master cylinders. A pair of them that were off an old 60s show car. So it was like it's meant to be. So some really neat stuff. So anyways, that's there. Really cool. Firewall's cut. One of the things I really liked about it is it has a narrowed 44 dash in it. And it's, again, done pretty decent. It's got a 44 or, you know, 41, 42 truck steering wheel, you know, 40 Ford standard wheel. Not sure what the steering drop is exactly. What's interesting is it might be the column tube from a 40 Ford, and the steering box is something earlier, it's a side steer. You know, 40 Fords would have been cross steer. You can even see the steering box used to be chrome, the steering tube. They built this little like section here so they could get the extra bolt in there, which is kind of cool. And they have it slotted so that they can rotate the steering box. So kind of interesting, probably needs a little bit of cleaning up, but really kind of a neat idea the way that they put this little pocket here. The frame, and then of course, you know, they got the drag link here and they have the hoop over there. It's got juice brakes, and the axle might even be the 34 axle, original one. Split wishbones, but what's kind of cool is the frame is actually not, I don't think is actually a 34 frame. I think it's a later frame. They said, the guy that I talked to said he was chasing this car. I'll turn this around. The guy I got it from said that he was chasing the car for like 20 or 30 years. You guys might have saw my photos on Instagram. It was an older gentleman. It was like in his mid or late 80s. He was not even getting around very good. He was in a little motorized scooter. He said he didn't really even drive his cars anymore, but he had been chasing early Fords like his whole life. For like 50, 60 years, he said he's been just nonstop chasing old cars. This car was a car he was chasing for a while, and the guy didn't want to sell it. And what happened is he basically just played the long game. He outlived the guy. The guy that owned this car and had it in a barn for years died. And then his son knocked on this guy's door and said, "Hey, you want to buy my dad's car you've been after for years?" He bought it just on principle, and basically was just flipping it. So he advertised it for a markup. I don't know what he paid, but he knew what he had. He's been in the hobby a long time, so the car was priced accordingly. He had the car set at $10,000 for the car in the ad, and he didn't wiggle at all. So I tried negotiating. Mike was kind of laughing because I tried hitting him pretty hard and, you know, telling him all the normal stuff. Hey, it's missing parts and this and that. He didn't budge. He knew what it was worth, and, you know, so I ended up paying 10 grand for it, which in today's day and age for a super solid 33, 34, or even 32 3-window that's an old hot rod is, I think, actually a pretty good deal. But what he told me is the family said that it was a 41 Ford frame. It might even be 40, I'm not sure, but you could see it looks like it is a later frame. And you can see where they cut the frame rail here. Kind of hacked it off, but that can be fixed. But the nice thing about having these later frames, kind of like I did on the Free T, is they have this nice sweep right here in the front that kind of gets the car sitting a little lower, and then in the back they have a nice big sweep too. The other thing that's kind of neat, I don't know if I probably can't get this deck wood open with one hand, but I'll shine this in here so you guys can see it. It's got like a tubular cross member in here in the back where they made the mounts for the rear spring. So it has some pretty neat stuff done to it. Like, you know, it's pretty smart, and the way it's done is actually not too bad. They got the shock mounts over there, which are hard to see. We'll get some better shots. So they have all that. Like I said, they got the dash. It's 40 Ford. So it's got some neat stuff to it. It's kind of quirky, but I kind of love it. A big thing, and I'm going to flip around again. The big thing about these early hot rods to me that makes them so special, and I've already had a lot of discussions with some of my buddies that are into this stuff like I am, and we all kind of just brainstorm about these cars, and everybody has their own theory or philosophy on these. For me, if I get a car that has some kind of like shell of what it was and you can see what the owner was doing, I try and embrace the history of what was done to the car. Unless it's totally junk, try and embrace it. So the guy that was building this was onto something. It has a really cool look to it. It sits really right. I don't want to make this a Rolling Bones car. A lot of guys are doing the Rolling Bones style cars with the hard Lakes chop and all that stuff, and man, they look bitchin'. They are just the best. But everybody's doing that, and you don't need to make every car that way. If you buy a car that's kind of virgin and you do it that way, that's great because that's what you want. But this car has some soul. This is an old hot rod that was built this way on the East Coast, and that's the way it looks. So I don't want to try and transform this car into something it wasn't. I'm going to embrace what it is. Leave the hard channel, leave the chop that's on it, leave the frame, and just embrace it and work around it and make it look cool. I mean, that's put my own little spins on it and things like that, but that's the goal. So that's where I'm at with the car. I know we'll get a lot of opinions on it, but that's kind of where we're sitting with this car right now. So I got it home. I got to figure out everything I need, but the couple things I definitely need is the The windshield frame here is missing. The guy told me that if the family finds any of the parts, he is going to call me and will give me the parts, and I do believe him. He was very old school and seemed like he was a man of his word. So it's missing the windshield frame and the garnish moldings, which are quite expensive. You know, they're out in here. But it does have, you know, the window regulators, the cranks are all in it and stuff, so that's in it. But you know, the garnish molding and the windshield frame is kind of the big things that's missing, and I said to him I'd really like to have those, and of course the grill if he found it. I have one, but if I could get another one, that would be really awesome. This one's borderline too clean for the car. So that's kind of where we're at. So that's a walk around the car. I know it's a lengthy storytelling event, but hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm super psyched on the car, and I can't believe that I got a 3-window. It seems like just like a month or two ago we were doing a live and guys were asking me what's like my dream car. I'm always chasing stuff. What would be the one car that I would love to find? And I think I said in the video like a 32 or 33, 34 3-window, and that's kind of like it for me. That's one of the top cars. So I got one of my bucket list cars, and even better, it's an old hot rod. That's like, to me, doesn't get any better than this. I'd actually rather have something like this than a fully restored 32 3-window that I have to cut up and change. I'd rather start with something that is an old hot rod and kind of continue on with that and embrace the history of the car. So that's kind of it. That's a neat little video. I know another project. What am I doing? I sold the 32 5-window project that we got, the COVID Coupe, if you want to call it that, to one of our viewers here, and I'm delivering that here very shortly to him. So that car is going to be gone, and you guys have been watching our Instagram IronTrap finds page. I've been blowing out a lot of stuff, been trying to just clear out the shop a little bit. So I don't feel so bad picking this car out because I got a few cars that are basically done. We're going to get back on the 39 Ford, so it won't be too bad. So the question I'm asking for you guys here at the end of the video is, and you guys can respond in the comments, I want to hear this, it's going to be good. Out of all my engines I have, what should I put for a drivetrain in this thing? We'll give you the options here. We have an Olds, we have a Caddy, blown Hemi, ooh, Studebaker. I have a Wyand, dressed Wyand flathead 59AB, and we have Arden heads with a Scott blower that are sitting kind of waiting for the right projects. So I want to hear what you guys think. Don't be shy. Tell me what you think I should put in it. Doesn't mean I'm going to listen to you, but I love the discussion, and the banter is always fun. So drop some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. I might even do something funny if I read the comments and see something that's interesting or a great idea. I might even give you guys, might send you a comment back for some free stickers or a t-shirt or something like that. So definitely drop us a comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching the videos. This has been a ton of fun. I love showing you guys all this stuff and what we get into and how we find this stuff. It's super fun. This stuff is still out there. Don't get sad if you can't find it. You just got to beat the bushes and just start networking and talking to old guys, and you can find this stuff too, and you can have it in your garage. I'm just a regular guy. I just spend a lot of time hunting for stuff. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Catch you later. See ya.